This is the video review of Cross Garion. This is a Chinese KO of a Korean robot. So here's a size comparison. He's basically a Megazord size. And then notice that he's standing kind of oddly. So let's actually look at his weight because that'll give you an idea of the quality of plastic that's used in this. So he's 436 grams with all his gear on. And then a Korean robot that's about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger, is 672. And then another Chinese robot that's kind of Megazord size is 568. So you can see he's definitely on the lighter side. And he is a little bit smaller in all fairness. And then just for comparison, Starscream is only 131 because Hasbro kind of makes these pretty light. Okay, so while I'm talking about the plastic quality, I would rate this probably a 4. Nothing's broken off of it, and it does have some pretty little tabs. And it's survived the transformation. I would say if it was a 3, then maybe something small broke off, or a 1, just the whole thing kind of disintegrates after transforming at one time. So the quality isn't too bad. So 4 out of 10. It holds together, but it feels very light for sure. And then one thing about the quality is when you have this weapon on the hip, he actually can't stand up straight. He's always going to stand a little bit off kilter. It's just this ratchet doesn't really extend correctly. I think that's a little bit straighter now. It's kind of weird. He's got some weird ratchets that don't feel super solid in there. They feel a little bit crunchy, I guess. A little bit brittle, maybe. Oh, never mind. I just didn't have this leg extended all the way. That was the problem. My mistake. So, pretty good looking figure. I would say the aesthetics of it, just a robot mode, pretty strong looking, very interesting kind of color combination and a really eye-catching kind of style. Looks very much like a Megazord. But for me, to my taste, I'd probably say that this robot's something like a 6 or a 5. He's interesting and eye-catching, and he's definitely distinct. He's not generic looking. So for articulation, this arm goes all the way around. You don't get any outward motion. You do get an elbow bend on a very heavy ratchet, a little bit too heavy. And then you don't have any wrist, you don't have any head articulation, which is a typical Megazord. No waist. You do have a kick, so a full forward kick, and a full backwards kick if this tail piece wasn't in the way. And then no knees. So very typical Megazord articulation, and then toes for transformation. Speaking of his weapon here, so his accessory, it does have this little orb that you can put into it. And it rotates. I guess that's the whole gimmick. It doesn't really do much else. Just this outside piece rotates, which I guess is supposed to have some kind of effect. And you can see there's a painted image on there. So that's like an image of Garion's head, like the dragon helmet. And then you have another image of the head, but upside down this time. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. And then this orb does come out, but these tabs are pretty long, so it kind of feels like it's not really meant to. And it kind of does nothing. And I haven't found a way for him to actually carry this weapon. There's no place to peg it in other than the hips, so I don't know what the point of this thing is, really. And this figure did come with instructions. As you can see, they're written in Chinese. But there's no markings, there's no identifying marks, so this is actually a knockoff and not an officially licensed figure. Transformation is really simple. First thing you're going to do is slide this tail section off of the back, and then the torso slides off of the pants. So now you have this section. You're going to rotate these down, and these will become the dragon feet, or the phoenix feet. Looks more like a dragon to me. There's your dragon head, and you can close the mouth. And then you rotate up the arms. Oh, actually they do have outward motion, so that was my mistake. So they do have outward ratchets. And then you're going to rotate this fist section to open up more of the feathers. And then you complete your phoenix with this tail in the back. You just slide that on. And there you have pretty decent looking phoenix mode. Again, face looks more like a dragon to me. And then for the tortoise, you're going to point the toes up. Well, actually, I take that back. These are going to become the rear turtle legs, and these will be the front turtle legs, these knee pads. So you're going to want to leave the feet down. You're going to rotate the waist section up so that the turtle face is facing the front. Okay, so you're actually going to rotate it 45 degrees, and then you're going to collapse the legs. And then just peg those together. And there you have a not too bad looking tortoise mode. And then this accessory is actually a little turtle that kind of rides on his back, so that's kind of cute. I don't know if being cute is a good thing in a robot, but there you go. He's got his little baby on his back. And this is how the two animals look together. Pretty good. And the tortoise actually has one more transformation. Okay, so you're going to extend the legs out again. So it might help to unpeg everything and do them individually. You're going to rotate the tortoise shell all the way up this time, or the tortoise head. You can peg the legs back together, and that makes the front end of the fire truck. And then you're going to rotate these panels to close up these sides here. Okay, I definitely should have practiced this more. So this is actually going to rotate here, and then you close up the other side. And that makes the side panels of the fire truck, and you can see it's coming along. You rotate up the knee joints and the toes. And then the back of the turtle shell, you're going to rotate those to the top of the fire truck to complete the look, and then this will close it off. So you get actually a really good looking fire truck. So pretty good design there. And then you can plug in the smaller turtle to the back again, and that becomes kind of the fire truck ladder. So not a bad looking vehicle. And this is how he scales with the deluxe figure. So this Cross Garion is an interesting figure. If you're into these kind of Megazords, I recommend it. It is pretty chunky. This transformation is satisfying and simple. You could get this KO version at Sirtoys. I'm sure Paul can find you another copy of these KO. Or you can get the original version. It'd be significantly more expensive from Korea. But I just wanted to try this figure out because it had always caught my eye and I was curious about it. And the official version does have other configurations and other robots that it combines with to get new forms. And then there's like transformation ports in these arms, and I'm probably not going to try to pull these off because it might break. And then you can see there's more transformation ports here. So interesting figure, but I probably wouldn't go for the official version unless it was pretty cheap, so that's why I got this KO instead.